Okay, welcome back. We got David back with us, and David, as we were finishing up last week, honestly, you were triggering some thoughts with me that we didn't have enough time to get to. So thank you for sticking with us. Yes, we're all wearing the same shirts, and we're recording this at the same time, but we don't get to have David with us that often, and so this has been great. Speed, I'm gonna throw this at David and then jump in wherever. As we were wrapping up last week, I had this thought about traditional sellers and how often we just get a sense, whether they say it or we just know that they're intimidated by some of the digital. They feel well versed with the traditional, they're intimidated by the digital, and they think everybody knows more about it but them. I think that's a message I would love for you to speak to our sellers out there.
Well, I actually have two responses to that. And the first one is based on a story. I did a training a couple of weeks ago with a radio seller. She'd been selling radio for 20 something years. And she was really trying to commit to this new digital initiative that the company had, right? But she still felt very uncomfortable. And after the training, she said something to me. She said, I could sell radio in my sleep. I've been selling it for so long. I know the answer to every question and every objection, and I could sell it all day long. I don't feel that way about digital. But what I've just realized is that I didn't always feel that way about radio either, right? So it's like she expected at 20 years in this industry, at this same job, at this same career, to be handed a new product and just be able to handle it like she always had. She forgot she really had to go back to the basics and go through that learning curve, that discomfort that comes with understanding a new product that you're selling. And so the other side of that coin is it's not that hard to learn. It's just not. If you just commit to it, there is training all over the internet. Just subscribe to eMarketer or Adweek and read the articles every morning, and you'll know 90% more than your advertisers, right? Go to YouTube and have some 12-year-old teach you how it works, because it's just not that hard. You just have to commit to learning it and take time out of your day where you want to go out and sell to, become a better version of yourself and become a better seller.
Yeah, and you stop and think about it. I mean, the rules are exactly the same. It's still reach, frequency, consistency, proper message, and knowing who your audience is and deliver the message, right? I mean, we're overcomplicating it.
Yeah, okay, so that's one of the things that drives me nuts. Everybody wants to know, how does the geofencing work? Does the GPS in the phone do this and blah, 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 blah? Like, when was the last time you asked, how did the signal get from the tower to my car? Yeah. No one cares. No. Why do we care in the digital space about all the little minutia? I talk about a concept called above the glass. You take your phone and you do all this stuff on it, and you know how to move the icons around, but do you know what's going on under the glass? Do you care? So why do we have to bring that conversation into our digital conversations? Just know, hey, you want to target people who are shopping for furniture? I can do that for you. And here's the kind of person I'm going to show it to. Someone who searched for furniture, someone who went to a competitive furniture store, someone who is an affluent woman in her 40s who has a high income. I can put your ad in front of that person. How? Who cares?
Yeah.
Especially if you play the attribution card, and at the end of the month, you can say, and here are the number of people who came to your website. Here are the number of people who went to your store. Here are the number of people who bought something on your website. Who cares?
No, it's an interesting point. Well, the other thing you brought up last week and that I really thought was interesting is, first of all, the fact you came from Yellow Pages. I mean, Yellow Pages was our nemesis forever. I mean, in a lot of cases, you were pulling down a heck of a lot more as an industry than broadcast. But what happened is, without offending any major corporations out there, they lost relevance. I mean, they were so busy printing the ads, they forgot they were in the information distribution business, and the business passed them by. And Google said, hey, I'll take that. Thank you very much. And we're looking at, we've got to remain relevant. Our industry's been around 100 years. And on the TV side, all right, so 90 years, okay? We've got to remain relevant. We are in the reach business, but reach alone doesn't just cut it. you've got to embrace. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I really do feel like Yellow Pages missed an opportunity to adapt and become something else. Google just swooped in and took all of that away. Radio and TV, for their part, they're not being replaced by something else. They're both adapting. I can still listen to the radio. I said last week that I don't listen to terrestrial radio much, right? That's true. Doesn't mean I don't listen to lots of music. Doesn't mean I don't listen to podcasts. It doesn't mean I don't consume radio content. I'm just consuming it through different medias or different channels or different ways. And as long as the radio stations adapt and become streaming or make sure that their users can download an app and listen to their station on in whatever manner works for them, then they're not going anywhere. They're just going to change.
We're definitely onto something here. Let's take a quick break. Let's pick this right back up.
Okay, all right. Here now we're back. We were talking, Speedy kind of alluded to about how Yellow Pages and broadcast and this we all have to adapt, and some have taken advantage and some haven't. And I think sometimes one of the things that our industry in broadcast fails to look at from the radio side, you may have a hard time going out and buying a transistor radio like we remember 20 years ago. But we're not telling the story, David, that there are smart speakers in nearly every home in the country, and it's so easy to get the radio. You don't have to die. You don't have to try to find that station. You just got to say, "Hey Google, play this," or "Alexa, play this." So we've adapted to that. 95% of people watching television watch it with a cash register in their hand, being a second screen. There are all these things these stories that we're not telling that supports everything we're talking about. You got any examples that along the same lines?
This one's a little out of left field, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan, right? And so I was thinking about it the other day, and I realized back in the day, I bought Star Wars on VHS, right? I paid for Star Wars. Lucasfilm made some money on me, right? Then DVDs came out. So what did I do? I bought the DVD. Then the special edition DVD came out, and I bought that. Now and then after I kind of got rid of my DVD collection in a garage sale, I ended up buying the Star Wars saga from iTunes. So I bought Star Wars so many times, and now I pay $6.99 a month to watch Star Wars on Disney Plus. It's not that stuff gets replaced, it just changes the way you consume it. And that's what I think is happening with radio and television. And that's why those industries aren't going anywhere.
I think you absolutely nailed it from the perspective of we get so caught up with what a radio is supposed to look like or what a television is supposed to look like. Look, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Yeah, when I walk in and I ask for the weather, from Alexa, which I do have a mostly hate relationship with her. She is evil. But if I want to listen to a ball game, if I want to listen to what's going on, if I just ask and she plays my favorite station, and it's easy to do. We're still listening. In fact, my son told me this not that long ago. He goes, "I don't listen to broadcast radio that much." He goes, "Yeah, I guess I do. I listen to it all the time on my smart smart speaker at home." So we just have to set aside, what does it look like? Doesn't matter. What's under the glass? It doesn't matter. It's the message. It's the story that we're telling. Yeah.
So David, try to wrap this up. We over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about barbecue and smart speakers and Star Wars and it's been great conversation. If we bring this back to those sellers out there that now have this incredible opportunity to not only sell the traditional that they've had over the many years, but now they can be targeted in a manner that they've never been able to do. Kind of button this up for us and what you would say to them on how it works together and why they need to embrace this.
It really all goes back to what I said last week. They're not selling anything new. They're selling an audience. they're selling Star Wars in a different format. They've been selling audience based on the radio stations or whatever that might be, right? What reach men on sports, reach women listening to pop, I don't know, whatever, right? Now you sell an audience where you want to reach men. You can literally target men based on their search behavior or their demographic. You can reach women. You can reach so many different audiences, but now you're not selling anything new. You're just selling the audience. It's always been the audience.
I was with a seller in a lingerie shop actually last week, and the owner.
Do I need to call HR again?
No, maybe, but the owner said, with my marketing, I only talk to women, and I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yeah, primarily everyone that comes in my store is female." And I said, "Okay, would you like to sell gift certificates to men?" "Oh, I would love to." "Okay, then there are all these times a year that you need to be talking to me." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, you can make me a hero multiple times. I come in and I buy a gift certificate. I give it to my wife. I'm a hero when I give it to her. I'm a hero when she gets to go spend it. And I won't go further because there's HR issues again, Speed. But it goes back to the audience, David. And it's our job to help our clients understand how we can help deliver the audience to them, regardless of the platform, and trying to tie all this together. Fair?
100%. Now, before you cut me off, I know we're close on time. I just want to provide a little hint for all the women listening right now. Okay. Start your morning by doing just 3 or 4 searches for men's underwear. The rest of the day, you're going to enjoy all the ads you get.
That's great advice. Hey, David, do me a favor. Tell us how people can reach you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty easy to find. Being in this industry for a while, if you Google David McBee, you will find me. But probably linking up with me on LinkedIn is the best way to stay in touch with me.
Okay, great. Okay, and Jordan, if we'll get you David's information and we'll just have you put David's information up on the screen here as well at the end.
Hey, David, thank you again. We appreciate it. We tend to want to overcomplicate. We always do. And you do a terrific job of getting to the real core of the discussion. And that is, we got to remember, it's still about the product. It's about the audience. It's about delivering the message. And that hasn't changed, and it won't. So thank you again for joining us. We sure appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
Well, I will tell you this, as we say every week in sales, you got to put that customer first.
And always find your swagger.
We'll see.
Have a great week, y'all. Swagger on.
Let's get some burn ends.